Hello, my awesome second grade artist. My name is Miss Tracy, and I'm going to be your art helper this year by making videos that you can watch for each lesson, and I'll show you how to do some drawings and how to color your pictures, and we're going to have a lot of fun, okay? So our first project that we're going to do this year is a fun oil pastel cat, and we're going to learn about the artist Paul Klee. So this is the one that I did, and let me show you some artwork by the artist that I was telling you about. This is a painting called Cat and Bird by an artist named Paul Klee. His name looks like it would be pronounced Klee, but you actually pronounce it Clay. And Paul Klee was an artist who was born in Switzerland. That's a far, far away from here. Let me show you on a map. This is a map of the whole world. We live in the United States of America on the continent of North America. And if you go all the way across the Atlantic Ocean, Switzerland is this little teeny tiny country in the continent of Europe. So that was where he was from. And when he was a child, he loved to paint and play violin. He was very musical, and he loved color. Color was very important to him, so all of his artwork is very colorful. And you can see in this one, he's used lots of different colors. And he also loved cats, and so he owned a lot of cats, and when he would paint, they would sit beside him as he painted, and he would often imagine what those cats were thinking. So he created this one called Cat and Bird, and you see up here on the cat's head a little bird. And so what Paul Klee is trying to do in this painting is show us what that cat might be dreaming about, because we all know that cats like birds, right? So he's dreaming about this bird. So I hope your teacher had time to show you the video of the book The Cat and the Bird that was being read aloud, and that'll give you some inspiration. All right, so first of all, let me go back to my painting my drawing that I created. This is going to be a very colorful picture of a cat, and we're going to use oil pastels. So the very first step is we are going to draw the cat, and your teacher is going to give you a tan piece of paper. So you don't always have to start out your pictures on a white piece of paper. Sometimes we use different colors. And I want you on the back of it to write your name, your teacher's name, your grade, and your school, okay? So do that and then flip it over. And then I want you to draw with a pencil. I'm going to draw with a Sharpie so you can really see what I'm doing, but you draw with a pencil. And I want you to follow along with me, okay? And your teacher can pause the video if you need more time. So this cat is going to be really big and fill the page. It's very important we don't make a little teeny tiny cat. We want him to fill the page. So a lot of times when I draw, before I use my pencil or my marker, I use my finger. And it kind of helps me see what I'm going to do before I put the marker or the pencil on the paper, okay? So take your finger and start at the very top. Just maybe take 2 or 3 fingers and come over a little bit and kind of trace out like a big W shape. It's going to go all the way from one side to the other and almost fill the page, all right? So let's start. So I'm going to take 3 fingers and I'm going to come over at the very top, and I'm going to go down, and then I'm going to kind of come up and curve, and then I'm going to make another one. So see how big that is? It doesn't go all the way to the bottom, but it's pretty close, okay? Now we're going to make the nose for the cat, and it's going to be a heart shape. So where that little point comes up, you're going to make a heart shape, and that'll be our cat's nose. So you do a curved line on one side like that, and then do another one. Okay, now we're going to make his eyes. This cat is going to have well, actually, before we do the eyes, let's do the chin and the neck, and then we'll go to the eyes, okay? So let's make his lip, or the bottom of his mouth. So in between here, that little space in between there, we're just going to draw a little curved line, and that's going to be the bottom of the cat's mouth, okay? Then we're going to make his neck. So in about the center of where our little curves come down, just make a straight line down, and then one on the other side. Now let's do his eyes, okay? So the eyes I said are very big. we are going to start at one side of his face and go all the way to the middle. And we're going to be making a shape that is called an ellipse. It's kind of like a football. Watch me. So I'm going to come down a little bit, and I'm going to start at the edge, and I'm going to make a line that curves down and goes all the way to the middle, and then one that curves up. See how that kind of looks like a football shape, doesn't it? It's called an ellipse. So make them touch. So right here in the middle where your two curved lines came together, do the same thing. Go all the way to the edge of the cat's face, and then come up. Really big eyes. Now we're going to make his pupils, and they are just going to be ovals in the middle of these football shapes. And an oval is kind of like a stretched out circle. So make one on that side and make one on that side, okay? Now we're going to make some extra little lines up here, and it'll kind of be like eyebrows for our cat. So in the middle, where the two eyes meet, draw a curved line that goes all the way to the edge, and then do it on this side also. Okay. Now let's make the nose, or the bridge of the nose that connects to the heart shape that we made. So again, starting in the middle, we're going to go down and connect it to the edge of that heart. It's kind of like a triangle shape. Do it on the other side. That's the bridge of the nose. And then we're going to make the whiskers. So look back at mine. So my whiskers are kind of curved. So you have a choice. You can make your whiskers go straight out with straight lines. You can make curvy lines. You can make zigzag lines. You decide, and it's good if everybody's is a little different. I don't want everyone's to look exactly the same because this is your artwork and I want it to be unique. So you decide what kind of lines. I'm going to do curvy lines. So I'm going to do 3 curvy lines on each side. I'm going to kind of practice. They start at the nose and they go all the way to the edge of the paper. So I'm going to start at the top of the nose, the top of the heart shape, curve all the way to the edge. There's 1, 2, 3. All right, I'm going to come over on the other side and do the same thing. Remember, you can do whatever kind of line you want, but just do 3. You don't want too many because you want to have big shapes that you can color. Okay, so now everywhere that is outlined in black is a shape. We're going to color all the shapes different colors, okay? So now you're going to have your oil pastels. Your teacher has these sets of nice oil pastels, and for every shape, you're going to pick it's going to either be warm colors or cool colors. So warm colors are colors that make us think of things that are hot or warm, like fire and the sun. So those are like our reds and our oranges and our pinks. And then cool colors are things that make us think of things that are cold or cool, like ice and snow. So our blues and greens, those are our cool colors, okay? So I'm going to start in the eye of the cat. I'm going to start here. This is one shape, and I'm going to make it blue. So I'm going to show you about using oil pastels and how you can blend them. So I'm going to start with this blue. It's kind of a darker blue, and I'm just going to start coloring in. And with oil pastels, you don't have to be as perfect about coloring as like you would with crayons. So I'm just kind of lightly coloring in. If you want it darker, you press down harder. I'm just going to go around all the edges and do that. And then the way that oil pastels look really good is if you blend them. So now I'm going to take a lighter blue. So this, remember, we're just using cool colors in this shape because they'll blend together. And look what happens when I go over it. Camera's shaking a little bit because I'm coloring, but they blend and they look so beautiful and rich. I love these colors. And it kind of gives it a little streakiness, and that's okay. That's what oil pastels look like. You can see where the colors mix. Okay. And so I would go back and do the same thing for this side of the eye, so that, and then the same thing on this side, okay? But now let me show you about a different section. So like if I wanted to make the bridge of the nose warm colors, I might start with this darker orange. And if your if your oil pastel has some color already on it that has gotten blended, see how there's some dark black or brown on there, you can take a paper towel and just wipe it off. And then if your fingers get yucky, your teacher will have some baby wipes that you can use to clean your fingers. But anyway, I'm going to go in and I'm going to start coloring that triangle shape, the bridge of the nose, this orange. And then I'm going to take some yellow. Remember, we're just using warm colors in this shape now. And I'm going over it and it starts to blend. See how pretty that is? So as you blend, all the colors will get darker and richer. And then you could even take some white to make it lighter in the middle. Okay, so, and look what happened. Let me show you. On that white, see how the orange got? So I'm going to clean it off so the next person won't have to have that orange on there. So you're going to go through your whole drawing and finish all the coloring. So you can make it the same on each side or different on each side. Do the background and everything. And then your very last step after you get all this colored will be to add black. So on all of this, when you're coloring, don't use any black yet. It will muddy up your colors. At the very end, when you're finished, you're going to take your black oil pastel and you're going to outline all of those black lines, okay? Let me show you my finished one. See how every line, I went back at the end like this and I outlined it in black. And if you want a really good black line, see how I'm kind of coloring it on there to press down and make it good and dark. And when you do that, when you outline all of those shapes, they will really pop and those colors will look even more vibrant. So I can't wait to see what you do with this project. We've done this project before and the results are always great. So I know you're going to be super proud of what you did. Can't wait to see it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.